It's quite overwhelming. Oh, did you just see what I just? Did you just see what I just saw? Did you just see what I just saw? I just saw Mr. Stevie Wonder. Whoa, Steve, you made it! He was in the studio till 5 a.m. and I talked to him this morning. He said, I just don't think I can do it, but before I speak, Steve, would you like to get up just for 1 second, or are you happy just to be where you are there? You're happy there? Okay. Well, this is an extremely fantastic day for me, obviously, and it's also a reflective one. I'm going to be about 8 minutes here, so I was told 4 minutes, but I'm going 8.
It's your day, baby.
It's my day. I have the mayor. The mayor's got my back. But it's a reflective day, and I'll explain why. But first, let me thank my dear friends Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil McGraw, and Natalie Cole for their incredibly kind and very true words. Thank you, guys. And thank you also to my friend, the Honorable Mayor Antonio. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. Thank you. So 40 odd years ago, my now ex-wife, BJ, who's here today, and I arrived in Los Angeles after driving from Vancouver for 26 hours straight in our beat-up Volkswagen van. Through BJ's contacts with her friend Dino Arali, who's here today, and my dear friend Barry Dvorzan, who discovered our band Skylark in Canada and is also here today, we miraculously secured a contract with this very Capitol Records. We pulled into the Carlton Lodge on that day, a few blocks from here on Highland. We parked our Volkswagen van, and we went to grab a quick lunch. 45 minutes later, we came back to a completely gutted, empty van. All of our worldly possessions cleaned out, gone in broad daylight in our first hour. Welcome to Los Angeles. Well, that day marked the point of no return for me. I was here, and I was staying. And just like every person with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and there are several here today, as we mentioned, I was going to chase my dream until it came true. Fast forward to 2013, I get the exciting news that I'm now going to receive my own star on the Walk of Fame. And I, of course, was beyond thrilled. I was actually working right here in the studios on the Rod Stewart Christmas album that day, and being quick on my feet, it occurred to me that maybe I could have a say into where my star might be located. So I asked Paula, who runs the studio here. She called up Maureen Schultz, who's in charge of the real estate in front of the building, and we went looking. And then I saw it. John, George, Ringo, and an empty spot. So I nervously asked, well, what about there? And Maureen said, oh, I'm sorry, that's reserved for Paul McCartney. He's getting it in 3 months. Okay, that's fair enough. I said, what about that spot next to Paul? Oh, that's reserved for Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly, because he was the Beatles' mentor. They loved him more than anything. He was their hero. Okay, disappointing, but understandable. Then I kind of sneaked over one, and I said, well, what about the spot next to Buddy's? And she said, oh, you can have that one. So, naturally, I screamed out loud for a couple of reasons. First, I was a classical musician until I heard She Loves You on the radio when I was 13. It literally changed my life. I instantly said to myself, that's what I want to do, from the very moment I heard that Beatles song. And they were my biggest heroes and my biggest influence. And Stevie Wonder, of course, Stevie. Secondly, as I mentioned, Capitol Records is where I got my professional start. Now, to take it one step further, when our band Skylark got signed to Capitol Records in 1972, managed by my friend Ferdinand J. Smith, who is here today, and we had a hit single called Wildflower. And maybe it's just thank you. Let her cry, for she's a lady. Maybe it's a cosmic coincidence, but it was exactly 40 years ago to the day that song was released that it reached its highest chart position in the Billboard Top 10. That was May 31st, 1973, 40 years ago today. Before I came to Hollywood, I was a fiend for music, and I couldn't get enough. I would stay out all night, not up to anything bad, just jamming and playing music, listening and learning. That's all I wanted to do. And I remember on this one night, I was 18 years old, I tried to come into the house quietly at about 4 a.m. My father was up waiting for me. I was prepared for the worst, but instead of reading me the riot act, he calmly asked, "So David, do you really think you can make a go doing this music thing?" "Yes," I said, "of course." "Well," he said, "I hear it's a tough business, but I really believe you can do it." My dad was absolutely right about the business challenges, but his vote of confidence meant everything to me, and it was actually the only adult conversation that I ever had with my father, and he died about 2 months later on May 31st. So as I said, it's a reflective day. And we all know that behind every successful career, there's a village of folks, and many of my village are here today, and I'm so happy and proud that I can share this incredible honor with all of them. Ned Shankman and Ron de Blasio and Brian Abnett, my managers for many years. Mark Johnston and Mark Johnson, two Mark Johnsons, figure that out, my current managers. My business manager for 20 years, Howard Grossman. My publisher, Kathy Spamberger. Barbara Kane from BMI, who's been such a big part of my life. Jim Keltner, the genius drummer who got me started doing piano sessions and hyped me to every artist, including George Harrison. My oldest friend for 50 years, Chris Earthy. We were in a band together when we were 14. Some of my friends from Warner Brothers are here, which was my home for the last 20 years. All the board members of my foundation and our chairman, Mike Ravenhill. Lucian Grange, and all of my partners at my new home, Verve Records and Universal Records. Also, 3 of my 6 sisters are here today, from near and afar, Mary Lou, Barbara, and James. And my wife's mother and brother, all the way from Holland, are here today. And my other 3 sisters are watching up in Canada, Maureen, Jeannie, and Ruth. I think they're watching live. Finally, hey, Britney Spears. Sorry? You're Dutch. Say something in Dutch, baby. Say something in Dutch. Doei. Ik hou van jou. That means I love you and I don't love him. Finally, it's no secret that I've been married once or twice. But the greatest joy that that's brought me is all of my wonderful children, both biological and otherwise. From Allison, my firstborn, to my daughter Amy and stepdaughter Tamara with my first wife, BJ, to Sarah, Tommy, Aaron, and Jordan with her fiance Tom here, with their mother Rebecca, they're all here, to my stepsons Brandon and Brody, with their mom Linda, and finally, and I really mean finally, to my new family with the true love of my life, Yolanda Dutch Foster, and her 3 children, Gigi, Bella, and Anwar. I feel really blessed from every angle. Thank you so much to Capitol Records, to Variety Magazine, everyone who took out ads, all my colleagues, friends and family who are here today, and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce and the Walk of Fame, David Green, LaRon, you do such a great job, Marlene, and Anna Martinez, who worked so hard over the last couple of weeks to help put this together. When I came here 40 plus years ago, Hollywood was the place to see and be seen. Oh, and Kenny Babyface is getting his star next year. Is that correct, Kenny? Yes. Thanks for being here, Kenny. Thankfully, the Chamber of Commerce helps Hollywood always put its best foot forward and continue to be the iconic brand that it has been for almost 100 years. The entire world knows Hollywood is the place where dreams come true, and today, you certainly made mine come true. Thank you all so very much.